This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Government sued. A former Chief Crown attorney alleges bullying and unjust demotion in a lawsuit. Graveyard shift. CFB Greenwood looks at relocating a cemetery on its airbase. And call to haul. CBRM introduces a new way to deal with heavy garbage.
It's weekend time. We'll see some showers rolling in for Saturday, but clearing skies for Sunday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. A former Chief Crown attorney is suing the Nova Scotia government and the province's public prosecution service. Catherine Pence alleges she was bullied by senior leadership and ultimately forced out of her role. Allie Thompson has the details.
The lawsuit was filed here in Nova Scotia Supreme Court by Catherine Pence, who was a Crown attorney for more than 30 years. Pence was appointed a Chief Crown in 2015, overseeing all prosecutors in Cape Breton. The claim alleges that the current director of the Public Prosecution Service, Rick Woodburn, bullied and undermined her. He was acting director at the time. It claims Pence was placed on administrative leave without explanation and was later demoted from her position as a Chief Crown. It alleges the actions of Woodburn and another senior leader damaged her reputation, caused significant financial losses, and led to extreme anxiety and depression. Her lawyer, Gavin Giles, says the demotion was a dramatic drop in her rank and ultimately forced Pence into retirement.
I think they've had a devastating impact. She had a position which she loved, which she was proud of, which she thought she did well, and which numerous other people said she did well. I think it's fair to say that she was looking at or entering into the twilight of her career and was looking forward to perhaps a graceful exit at some not too distant time, and to have the legs cut out from under her. I think it's had a devastating effect.
The claim seeks damages for lost income and benefits, as well as punitive damages related to how Pence was treated. None of the allegations have been proven in court, and a statement of defense has not been filed. The Justice Department and the Public Prosecution Service declined to comment. Allie Thompson, CBC News, Halifax.
William Sandeson wants his stuff back. The convicted killer has applied to the Nova Scotia Supreme Court to recover items police seized during their murder investigation more than a decade ago. Blair Rhodes reports.
William Sandeson murdered Taylor Sampson in an apartment in this building. It was August 2015. Both men were students at Dalhousie University. Sandeson was just days away from beginning a quest for a medical degree. Sampson arrived carrying 9 kilograms of cannabis. He'd been lured here on the pretext of doing a drug deal. Instead, Sandeson shot him, took the drugs, and removed Sampson's body. He claimed he threw it in the ocean, but Sampson's remains have never been found. Sandeson was tried and convicted twice for murder, although his first conviction was overturned on appeal. He is now serving a life sentence at a prison in Quebec. Juries in the 2 trials saw a mountain of evidence that had been seized from Sandeson's apartment and his family farm outside Truro. There are also items police seized that never became part of the 2 trials. In documents he filed with the court, Sandeson lists the things he doesn't want back, including the cannabis, the gun he used in the murder, and the blood-stained cash the police recovered. As for what he is looking to get back, Sandeson lists American money worth up to $300 and a laptop which contains cryptocurrency. Some Bitcoin has been recovered from the laptop, but Sandeson says in his filing that there's still more. Taylor Sampson's mother and younger brother have gotten a portion of that money through a wrongful death lawsuit they filed against Sandeson. He says there are other items that have sentimental, monetary, and useful value to him and his family. A hearing to consider Sandeson's request is set for early next month. Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
Mi'kmaq chiefs in Nova Scotia are demanding a moratorium on RCMP raids on cannabis stores in their communities until they can have, quote, nation-to-nation talks with the province. The Nova Scotia government says it's willing to discuss the issue, but only if every chief and band councillor discloses their financial interests in the province's unregulated trade. In a letter sent to the chiefs, Justice Minister Scott Armstrong says transparency is needed during the discussions. The province is offering to help the chiefs establish regulated shops through the Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation, a system it says will keep profits in Mi'kmaq communities. Thousands of long-term care workers are preparing to take job action after reaching an impasse in collective bargaining. More than 2,200 workers represented by CUPE gave notice Friday morning that they'll hit the picket lines Monday at 7 a.m. The strike will impact 25 homes across Nova Scotia. One personal care worker who spoke to CBC at today's rally says she and her colleagues are holding out for better wages.
Currently, our lowest paid support services make $18.77. And the living wage in Halifax is roughly $29. So we have members that are living in poverty for like full-time hours, but still living in poverty.
The provincial government is offering wage increases between 12% and 24%, retroactive to 2023, when the last contract expired. Long-term care workers are considered essential, and therefore homes have agreements that ensure a minimum complement of staff will be on hand to care for residents during the strike. Well, commuters in Nova Scotia are finding a bit of relief at the pumps today after widespread drops in prices set by local utility boards. Tonight, the price of both gasoline and diesel fuel will change again. The Nova Scotia Energy Board has invoked the interrupter clause to change the price of fuel at midnight. Okay, you've got Friday and you've got sunshine. That's a winning combination.
Yeah, especially when Friday was as nice as it was today. And what a day indeed. We had temperatures generally in the double digits, but you can see widespread temperatures into the teens today across northern areas. 17 at Kedzie, Greenwood, Kentville, and in Pictou County. No doubt a few backyards warmer than that. 15s on the board in Ganesh and up to Cheticamp as well. A step back tomorrow temperature-wise, no doubt, but we're still hanging on to the double digits in most cases. High single, low double digits. Showers moving in. Increasing clouds overnight into tomorrow morning. Could see a few breaks of sun in the east. Now, Sunday is notably different in the northeast as it is in the southwest. We're going to see northwest winds coming in off the Gulf and the Strait. That's going to keep temperatures capped here in the low to mid single digits. The winds here are going to be gusting 60, 70, even 80 kilometers per hour, especially along parts of the coast for Inverness County. The winds will ease in the southwest, so temperatures will rise here a little bit more, but it'll be a little more pleasant. We'll walk you right through that 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
CFB Greenwood is studying the feasibility of relocating a cemetery on its airbase. The cemetery has graves dating back to the 1800s, but some descendants are against the idea. Andy Mullins has that story.
This cemetery in Greenwood has more than 200 years of local history, but its future is now uncertain. The Union Church Cemetery is located in the Canadian Armed Forces base, but the base is considering moving the cemetery to make way for a new hangar. Daniel Spinney is one of several people in the community raising concerns about that possibility.
Originally, Greenwood was called Spinney Town, so there's a lot of history in there.
Last week, the federal government announced $648 million for upgrades to CFB Greenwood. Part of that will go towards the new hangar, but where it will go is still up in the air. Colonel Luc Vachon says a feasibility study is underway.
This location gives us opportunity just because of the access to the runway, which is right behind us. It's a really good location as well. Just to be clear, we have plans to build this hangar without touching the cemetery. It is different option, different location, different places on the base.
Part of the feasibility study is reaching out to local families, museums, and organizations to better understand the cemetery's significance. Darlene Eisner has family buried in the cemetery. She has mixed feelings about the idea of relocating it.
Do they really need to do that? They have other land. They could build in other spaces, places on the base. Do they need to move, 400 people?
The cemetery is in the high security section of CFB Greenwood. To visit a grave, you need to arrange an escort with the base ahead of time. Because of this, some residents say moving it might be a good thing. But they say it would have to be done right, with respect for the dead and for the cemetery's historical value. Andy Mullins, CBC News, Greenwood.
The company leasing Parks Canada's Celtic Lodge in Ingonish says the building is too far gone to be renovated as a hotel. The main building has been closed for almost 2 years. Parks Canada released a study this week which says restoring the lodge could cost $70 million. It says it would need to consult with Ontario-based Golf North, which leases the building and adjacent golf course, before a decision can be made. The company says investing that amount of money does not make sense for anyone, but it is willing to work with the federal government if a viable plan can be found for the building. Unionized construction workers in Cape Breton are protesting, demanding that local work is contracted to local workers. The local Construction Trades Council says while the structure of this new Dairy Queen restaurant was built by local unionized workers, the franchise owner contracted out-of-province workers for the inside of the building. Protesters say that construction done on the island should be done by local workers to put money back into the pockets of locals.
I feel like it's stealing from me. This is, like I said, this is our work, and it's a month, 6 weeks work for us is very good. It just puts it back into the local community.
The workers on the picket lines say they are asking people not to support the store once it opens. Dairy Queen did not respond to CBC's request for an interview. Halifax councillors say a former sports dome on the Bedford Common area needs to be fenced off to keep people safe. In December, municipal staff ordered that a fence be placed around the site on Verdi Drive. They say the collapsed dome and ice rink are a safety hazard, and it's easy for kids from a nearby junior high to get inside. The group responsible for the site asked for more time, but on Thursday, the appeals committee upheld the deadline of 1 week. It also ruled that piles of debris on the site must be cleaned up within 30 days. If you want to make a run to the dump in CBRM without having to pay for it, you have until the end of this month. After the end of April, there will be fees in place at the landfill, along with a new way of dealing with heavy or large garbage. Kyle Moore reports.
It's something many Cape Bretoners look forward to every spring. No, it's not the warmer weather. It's the hugely popular heavy garbage pickup.
It was a little bit of fun. People used to go around and almost treasure hunt. So it was kind of a fun little rite of spring that, for whatever reason, is now gone. Gone because the CBRM is implementing a call to haul program where you schedule a pickup of oversized items. For some residents like Sean Bigley, it's not clear why the change is needed. I don't understand how this helps the situation. Everybody's complaining about illegal dumping and garbage being everywhere, and make these changes seem to me anyway, to make this situation worse. Also changing is charging at the dump. Starting May 1st, the CBRM is introducing a new residential tipping fees at the Spar Road and North Sydney waste management facilities.
Minimum charge of $5 up to 100 kilograms. After that, it's $8 per 100 kilograms or $80 a ton after that.
Phelan says he's not concerned about an increase in illegal dumping.
When you talk to our enforcement guys, they don't think that there's going to be a major increase in that because of the nature of the materials that they get, that a lot of people are going to illegal dump no matter what. So we have to fight that every day, and we will continue to do the enforcement piece.
Phelan says a bigger education piece on what exactly you can put out curbside will be shared in the coming weeks.
We're going to permit 5 bulk items, so it's going to be kind of specific about what you can put out. We're talking about like a fridge or a sofa or something that's heavy that you can't normally put out in the regular garbage.
Phelan says the municipality has budgeted $600,000 for call to haul. Last year, heavy garbage pickup cost more than $1 million. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Yes, looking spring-like in Martok. Ryan is up next with the full weather forecast. See you just after the break. And Ryan is back with his full weather forecast. And of course, the weekend is probably the most important forecast that you do.
Yeah.
Sort of a 50-50 split on things?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way of putting it. I mean, we do need showers this time of year. We're getting those on Saturday. Just bad timing with the weekend. Of course, after such a great day today, and yesterday was
quite a tease,
great.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Sunday will be pretty good. The winds are going to be a factor, though, in the Northeast, as I mentioned earlier, and we'll dive into that deeper in just a moment. First, have a look at our webcam shot and beautiful. Yeah, this is Sambro, Nova Scotia webcams with this great live shot, and indeed a nice evening there at Sambro and a nice evening all across the province right now. Look at those temps. We're still in the 9 to 14 range across Cape Breton, anywhere from 6 to 18 across the mainland. So Greenwood, our hot spot today and currently at 18 degrees. We did hit 17 earlier at Kentville. So a beautiful day, no doubt. The winds have been breezy from the south. That'll be the theme in the coming weeks. We know if we're going to get into the warm temps, often coming with the price tag of a southerly flow to usher in those comfy temps, gusting 30, 40 kilometers per hour out there right now. We're going to be seeing the clouds increasing tonight thanks to this frontal boundary, which will start to move in, and a low developing along this boundary will bring in some showers, but nothing too significant. We will be looking at this area of high pressure moving in, cooling us down on the other side of this front, kind of back to reality in terms of seasonal temperatures on Sunday, though a little cooler than seasonal toward the northeast. And you can see that heat being pushed down to the U.S. south. Okay. Tonight, temperatures will be milder than even they were last night. We're going to be in the mid-single digits for most. We'll dip into the 1 degree range, Guysborough, and up into Cape Breton, likely down towards 2 or 3 for Antigonish County, 3, 4, and 5 for the rest of the province. And as we look at the outlook, you can see the forecast model indicating here some fog developing and then pushing inland overnight tonight. So fog patches on tap for Saturday morning. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see a few breaks of sun tomorrow. The best chances for Saturday morning are going to be here across Cape Breton and into Antigonish County and Guysborough County. Everywhere else, it's likely a pretty thick, cloudy start and the low-level fog as well, or low-level cloud and fog. And then note those showers will be marching in Amherst and in through the valley, Tri-County, down towards Liverpool by mid-morning. And then Metro into the mix late morning, midday, pushing across the Northumberland shore. And then, yes, Cape Breton, dry until the afternoon for you folks, and then showers moving in here. Behind the main line, we're going to be seeing potential for a couple of breaks of sun, especially towards the west as the winds shift to northwest, but overall expect the clouds to dominate behind that system as well. We are going to be looking at temperatures across Cape Breton ranging between 7 and 9, even 10 and 11 inland. We are going to be looking at the winds shifting to northwest here, but not until late day. It's a southwest wind for a good chunk of the day for Cape Breton, as well as the Northumberland shore, as well as Antigonish and Guysborough, winds will shift to northwest here, Tatamagouche, Amherst, Parsborough. These, you folks here, likely seeing a bit of a temperature drop late day tomorrow as the winds do shift to northwest. We're 8 and 10 degrees across central areas, including Metro. Could crack 11 down towards Bridgewater and Liverpool tomorrow. Winds shifting to northwest here as well. Picking things up Sunday morning. Not sure why the model jumped ahead on me here, but we are looking at the potential for some showers mixed with some flakes here Saturday night into Sunday morning along the Northumberland shore, and notably Inverness County on Sunday. Onshore winds and, yes, some snow and even some blowing snow in the morning. So a heads up on that for you folks. The winds on Sunday will gust 60, 70, even 80 kilometers per hour here through the northeast. We'll be looking at the winds easing in the southwest. So that's why we're going to see a pretty big difference in the temperatures on Sunday across the province. There's, again, a coating possible on the grass by Sunday morning in the northeast. And there's that bullseye that is possible for Inverness, especially higher terrain areas by Sunday afternoon. Could see upwards of 15 centimeters over the highlands. Now, as we look at Sunday's temperatures, notably cooler here in the northeast, thanks to those driving northwest winds. The winds easing here across the southwest. So I do think we'll have the opportunity to jump into the 7, 8, even 9, maybe even a double digit, especially the South Shore would be the best chance of that. Back Monday, we've got flurries mixing to showers, pretty quickly mixing over to showers. Tuesday, up to 13 degrees, and I do think we'll see some sunshine on Tuesday afternoon and looking pretty spring-like through next week, even with the showers.
Loving it. All right. Thanks for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
That's that time of year. Ski hills in the region are closing for the season. On the west coast of Newfoundland, this winter made for great conditions at Marble Mountain. Some say it's been the best year in over a decade. Amy Feehan has that story.
It's been a long winter with lots of snow on the west coast. Great conditions here meant that Marble Mountain was able to open in January and have a longer season. The early start had officials feeling optimistic, and the resort's general manager says they were right to feel hopeful.
We're up from previous years, absolutely. In our peak weekends, we've got about 5 or 6 really peak weekends. We're seeing an increase of almost 25% in our day passes coming in each over the weekend. So that's been a real bonus for us.
A typical season at Marble averages anywhere from 50 to 60 days. This year, it surpassed 70 days. Cormier says the winter gave Marble Mountain some of the best conditions in the country, and that made their hill the place to be.
Every storm that came through this year has gone underneath New Brunswick and came here, so I'm after more snow.
So you guys aren't getting as much snow as we are over in New Brunswick?
No, not at all. It's been a hard winter. We got a little bit, but it's all here, so that's where you got to be.
There's no denying the past few seasons have been rough for Marble. There have been several attempts to put the hill in private hands. Last year, the government put up a for sale sign, which received zero interest. The Minister of Tourism says the government has no plans right now to try and sell again.
So currently there's no active RFP. We're focused on optimizing Marble Mountain and looking at a bright future with Marble.
While many say this season was great, there's no telling what next year could look like. When asked if she had any concerns investing in something so unpredictable, Minister Barber said no.
There's a lot of businesses that rely on Marble Mountain, hotels and small cafes out around Steadybrook. It's a lot of people and there's a lot of jobs involved. So it's very important for the West Coast.
This season has been an outlier from previous years, but it still has everyone at Marble Mountain feeling optimistic about the future.
Hey, maybe the last 3 years were the not normal. Maybe this is the normal, and we should all look forward to buying more snowblowers and getting more skidoos and buying more ski passes.
Amy Fian, CBC News, Steadybrook.
Coming up, Nova Scotia's legislature sitting concludes after tumultuous 27 days of protests and budget pushback. The Nova Scotia legislature sitting wrapped Thursday after 27 days, and it was marked by public protests and pushback over the Houston government's $19 billion budget. For more on this, we're joined by Government House Leader Brendan McGuire. So after hearing from the public, your government did a bit of a reverse course on some of the budget cuts. I'm wondering what lessons have been learned from that experience, that exercise?
So I think one of the things that lesson-wise and things we continue to build on is listening to the public. You don't want to be a rigid government where you make these decisions and after getting feedback you don't listen. So I think what we've learned is we've got to continue to listen to the public, and where we can make changes, you make those changes.
Now, your government has made some expensive changes, such as taking the tolls off the Halifax Harbour bridges. Some people said, that wasn't necessary. Was that a mistake given the precarious financial situation the province is in?
I don't think so. So here's how I look at it, and I think this is how a lot of people look at it, is we have over 4,000 bridges here in Nova Scotia, and none of them are tolled. You look at Sea Island Bridge, you look at the Causeway, the tolls have come off at Cobequid Pass. So it is about a fairness thing, and also it's about affordability. A lot of people use those bridges, and it's put a lot of money back in people's pockets.
The opposition is already voicing concerns about the next budget. What kind of pain might come from that, given some of these budget cuts were reversed and we're not in balanced situation? What do you say to Nova Scotians looking ahead?
So I would say to them that we're going to continue to invest in what we hear from them, which is affordability. We're going to continue and invest in putting more money back in their pockets. Because let's be frank, Nova Scotians know how to spend their money a lot better than the government does. We're going to continue to invest in healthcare and education, school lunch program. These are things that we've heard from the general public. This position that Nova Scotians in is not unique. Every single province and territory and the federal government are in this position where they're running large deficits and tough decisions have to be made. And what I would try to get across and what I want to get across to Nova Scotians is that we don't make these decisions lightly. We know they impact you. And when we have more, we will absolutely do more.
All right, I referenced the pushback on your government. There's protests outside the legislature. Earlier, there were some inside, some disruption in the gallery, some singing and some yelling. But that meant that the public was out of the People's House for more than a week. Is there a way that situation might have been handled better?
So it was a difficult situation, obviously, and that's a decision that the Speaker has to make. One of the things that I don't know if the general public realizes, when they think of the legislature, they just think of the politicians. It's a place of employment. There are young people there. There are all kinds of people that are working there. And this is about safety. Yes, there was some singing, there was some yelling, there was... Quite frankly, there was an MLA who had her vehicle surrounded by protesters, and these things are scary situations. And the Speaker wanted to make sure that the safety, not just for the MLAs, but more importantly for the staff, was there.
But an all-out ban on everybody, was that the best way to do it, or could you have just targeted the people making trouble? So
obviously, this is a decision that's made by the Speaker. It's not one that's made by government, and the Speaker felt that a process needed to be made to identify those people and make sure that the proper safety precautions were in place for everybody.
Right. This week, the government passed legislation creating tougher penalties for those selling unregulated cannabis. Last week, of course, tensions rose between the RCMP and Indigenous protesters after a cannabis raid in Cape Breton. And now we're hearing from the Assembly of Mi'kmaq Chiefs. They want a pause on cannabis raids until there are nation-to-nation talks between the province and First Nations. Where does this situation go from here?
So I think it's continued dialogue. I do know that the Minister of Legal Affairs, she has stated publicly that she has had meeting with the chiefs and she will continue to meet with them. The Minister of Justice has meetings with them and will continue to meet with them. And so we want to make sure that proceeds are not going to organized crime. And we've said this time and time again, the proceeds need to stay in those communities and benefit the entire community. And that's what we want. And we'll continue to discuss this with our nation-to-nation conversations. And I'm very optimistic, and I know that the Minister of Legal Affairs is continuing to keep dialogue going with them.
Now, the Finance Minister wasn't there for the final vote on the budget. The Premier wasn't there for when the House rose. What should people make of that? Is that sort of what happens when you have a supermajority? You don't have to be there?
No. So they both take it very serious. you know, the minister was there for the FMA vote, which is part of the budget vote. The Minister of Finance put in a lot of work, and so did the Premier. What I would say to that is, we're in a position where obviously we have a deficit. It's not unique to Nova Scotia. We need to be looking at attracting businesses, environmentally sound ways of doing natural resource extraction. And one of the things the Prime Minister of Canada had said that is that he wanted the premiers out there leading on these things. And we see that from Newfoundland, we see that from New Brunswick, we see it from Saskatchewan, Alberta, all these other areas where the premiers are out there leading. We need the premier out there meeting with businesses. We need them out there meeting with and finding opportunities. It means a lot for stakeholders and business people when you have those meetings with the Premier. He takes his job as Premier in the House very serious, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we find opportunities.
All right, we will leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Coming up, Pakistan prepares to host critical peace talks between the U.S. and Iran this weekend. And the historic mission to the moon comes to an end today as the crew of Artemis II make a splash landing on Earth. Welcome back. American and Iranian negotiators will be meeting in Pakistan over the weekend in a bid to turn their fragile ceasefire into a permanent end to the war. The two sides have several issues to tackle, including the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping lane that Iran currently has in a chokehold. Megan Williams has more.
To give you a sense of how open the Strait of Hormuz really is, in normal times about 100 ships pass through it. Yesterday, 7 ships did, and according to shipping data, most of those ships were linked to Iran. There was a supertanker and other tankers and a ship with Iranian iron ore that was headed to China. Iran is saying that it wants regime change, but in the Strait of Hormuz, meaning that it wants to manage it. It's saying that it is open to everybody but closed for adversaries. And it's also doing some creative redrawing of sea routes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's now saying that ships that pass through the strait must go further north, closer to the Iranian shore, and that ships will have to pay a toll. One of the amounts that's been floated is $2 million per ship, which Iran says it will share with Oman. Now, Trump is among many who are rankled by what Iran is proposing. He posted about it. He said that it's doing a dishonorable job on the strait. In another post by Trump, he warned that Iran better not collect tolls. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has been in the Gulf. He's met with various leaders to discuss the situation, and here's what he has to say.
Obviously, the discussion moved very quickly to the ceasefire, a sense that it's fragile, that more work is needed, that the Strait of Hormuz has to be part of the solution, a very strong sense that there can't be tolling or restrictions on that navigation.
Meanwhile, here in the Gulf, missile and drone attacks stopped yesterday, but Kuwait's military is saying that they shot down 7 Iranian drones that were targeting their National Guard facilities and that personnel were injured. The IRGC is denying those claims. Also in the Gulf, the top diplomat for the UAE said that this country will now begin reviewing who it can rely on internationally, and it will begin restructuring its economy accordingly. Megan Williams, CBC News, Dubai.
At least one person is dead and 27 others injured after a bus carrying British tourists crashed on the Canary Islands. The accident occurred when the vehicle veered off the road and into a ravine. Local emergency services said that among the injured, 3 were in serious condition. The same road had been the site of a fatal crash last year. We are just hours away from the return of the capsule containing the astronauts of Artemis II. The record-setting mission around the moon ends this evening with a splashdown back on Earth. This return, however, comes with huge risk. Karen Pauls has the details of what the final tense minutes will be like.
Artemis II has been a successful mission so far, but Friday, the most important part, bringing the astronauts home. Other than the launch, this is the highest risk part of the trip.
They're going to plummet into the air, counting on the air to slow them down at about 40,000 kilometers an hour. They'll have twice as much energy as the 3 times that I re-entered the atmosphere. Twice as much energy to bleed off because of the extra speed.
The final 13 minutes of this mission will be intense, from 0 gravity to nearly 4 Gs of pressure, from hitting Earth's atmosphere at 32 times the speed of sound to enduring a 6-minute communications blackout with temperatures outside the capsule as high as 3,000 degrees Celsius, and then splashing down gently at 30 kilometers per hour.
They are going to be experiencing some pretty crazy G-forces as they slow down really quickly. They're trying their best to do a delicate balance between entering the Earth's atmosphere too steeply versus too shallow.
Splashdown.
The big question? If the capsule's heat shield will perform as it's meant to. There was unexpected damage during the Artemis I re-entry in 2022. A precise re-entry angle is key.
Let's not beat around the bush. We have to hit that angle correctly. Otherwise, we're not going to have a successful re-entry.
Their target is off the coast of California in the Pacific Ocean. The USS John P. Murtha, ready for the astronauts' return. They'll be airlifted to the ship, get some post-flight medical checks, and then flown to the Johnson Space Center in Houston, where they'll be reunited with their families.
There's no question that we'll all be anxious, and but we'll be with the families. We'll be with them. We'll all be together. I have full confidence in the team. They do too.
When we can start celebrating is when we have a crew safely in the med bay of the ship, and that's really when we can allow the emotions to take over and start talking about success. We need to have the crew home before we do that.
Splashdown is scheduled for just after 8 p.m. Eastern, and the world will be watching. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It's convention weekend for the federal Liberals, and one word overshadows everything else: majority. The party is just a single seat away from achieving it, and some are even wondering how large the tally of seats might be. CBC's Ashley Burke reports.
Newly minted Liberals front and center at the party's convention in Montreal.
Good afternoon. What an honor to be here at the largest Liberal convention.
Floor crossers who've pushed the party to the cusp of a majority in the House of Commons.
I don't know whether to introduce myself as a recovering Conservative or just that I was a Liberal and I didn't know it.
Delegates here watching to see if any other MPs sources say the party's in talks with defect this weekend.
Haven't looked back and have slept well every night.
Or if the Liberals hit a majority on Monday from by-elections in 2 Liberal strongholds and a competitive race in Quebec.
It's going to be a tough battle. The Bloc Québécois really wants to regain this seat.
I'm very hopeful for the by-elections on Monday, and then we'll have to see what happens between now and then.
Some Liberals say even though the Conservatives have been cooperating lately, they still need a majority for stability.
We wouldn't take it to the bank that Mr. Poilievre isn't going to change his mind on that, and we've seen the obstruction that has happened within Parliament under Mr. Poilievre for a long, long time. So I do think this provides the ability for the government to actually be thinking forward.
Well, we're obviously seeing with the events in the Middle East, the price of gas surging, the continued work that we need to do in building Canada, including building affordable houses.
The Liberals are 1 seat away from a majority government, but they'll want more MPs than that to build in some room in case someone leaves the party. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Montreal.
New job numbers from StatsCan show modest growth last month, a small offset to the sharp losses earlier this year. In March, employment rose by around 14,000 jobs. Those gains were barely enough to counter the more than 100,000 job losses in the first 2 months of the year. The growth was led by part-time work along with high unemployment rate. Weak full-time job numbers can indicate a slack economy. Well, an investigation by our colleagues at Radio Canada has very quickly led to a class action suit. It's about the purity of some maple syrup. Sarah Levitt shows us how it all started with one reporter's discerning taste buds.
It started with some maple syrup at breakfast. Just one bite in, Gaëtan Pouliot, a journalist with Radio Canada's Enquête program, noticed something was off. That bite has led to a class action lawsuit yet to be authorized.
Canadians love their maple syrup, and what has come to light is that there's a significant producer in Quebec who's been cutting our cherished sirop d'érable.
Enquête traced the strange-tasting syrup to Steve Bourdeau, a producer near Montreal. The team bought 5 cans of his syrup from different stores and brought them for analysis to a provincial lab that monitors maple syrup quality.
All the samples that were brought to our lab were positive, meaning that they were falsified. We found some foreign sugar in it.
It was cane sugar, around 50% in each can. Enquête visited Bordeaux's farm, posing as buyers for a grocery store. Filmed with hidden cameras, the producer alluded to unspecified illegal practices.
Je l'ai dit à Coy. Parce que j'ai le marché.
Puis je suis pas tout légal, puis j'ai pas fait pareil. Là.
Most maple syrup producers sell in bulk, but Bordeaux sells directly to stores. He refused an on-camera interview, but later by phone said the fake syrup could have come from Ontario suppliers. Bordeaux also admitted to labeling Ontario syrup as being from Quebec, an illegal practice. The class action specifically targets the impurity of the syrup sold.
We want to deter this type of conduct, so we will absolutely be pursuing compensatory and punitive damages in this case.
After the Enquête story aired, consumers in Ontario and Quebec noticed some cans had been relabeled, covering a sticker showing they came from Bordeaux's farm. The labels were put on before the report had aired. It's not clear who did it or why. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
2 iconic Antarctic species have now been added to the endangered species list. Global Conservation Authority says that emperor penguins and Antarctic fur seals have seen their numbers diminish significantly over the last decade. Scientists say melting sea ice and a reduction in food sources are to blame. Sheehan Desjardins reports.
In Antarctica, sites like this are getting harder to find, and experts say it's very possible they could disappear completely.
You will see larger die-offs, and that, of course, would be a massive tragedy, and essentially it'll be all on us because it's happening on our watch.
The iconic emperor penguin is now considered endangered, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. These birds live on ice for most of the year, but there's much less of it, and when chicks fall in the water, they drown or freeze.
So if you lose one set of offspring in 1 year, then that's probably not important. But if you consecutive years lose cohorts of offspring, then that becomes cumulatively important.
He says the emperor penguin population has dropped about 10% in the last decade, even more in some places, and it's expected to be cut in half by 2080.
They're effectively the Antarctic canary in the coal mine.
The Antarctic fur seal is now declared endangered too. It feeds on krill, which are looking for colder water, making it trickier to hunt. This Canadian scientist has spent time in Antarctica, seeing the effects of climate change firsthand.
We weren't seeing a significant change in the trend until just the last few years.
But he says as more sea ice disappears, something needs to be done, because right now, the future looks bleak.
The way to deal with climate change, the way to mitigate its effects, is to look at anthropogenic emissions of carbon dioxide. And in particular, we're talking about the burning of fossil fuel.
He is optimistic that can happen, but for the emperor penguin and Antarctic fur seal, it's just a question of will it come soon enough. Sheehan Desjardins, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index finished more than 200 points higher, helped by gains in the basic materials sector, while U.S. markets were mixed. Let's take a look at the numbers as we head to break. All right, as we head into the weekend, I know you've got some signs of spring in your mailbox.
Yes, I do. And thank you to everybody contributing this week, sending in your signs of spring. This one's a pretty good sign of spring, I would say. And have a look. This is down in the Yarmouth area, and a beautiful sign of spring here with the frogs.
How cute.
Yes. Jacqueline said there was actually a couple of frogs that were on her window. And so that's a good sign.
Were they trying to get in?
I think so, yeah. But and I think there is a folklore. The frogs have to get frozen over twice before spring arrives. They have to see through the ice twice. So we're still a couple freezes away. Or who knows how long they've been awake down in the Yarmouth area. But yes, thanks to Jacqueline for sharing that. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Okay, so temperatures tomorrow, 8 to 11 degrees, so it is going to be mild, but it's going to be wet. We'll see fog patches moving in overnight, and then showers. We'll show you the timeline in just a second. Sunday, a brighter day, certainly cooler in the northeast, and it's going to be windy as well, gusting 60, 70, 80 kilometers per hour in the northeast. Those winds easing somewhat into the late part of the day. Onshore flurries continue for Inverness County. The wind's backing off in the southwest of the province, so that's why temperatures will have a better chance to rise there. Have a look. There's the timeline. The showers moving in mid to late morning. And then behind this system, we do mix to a few flurries. Could wake up to a coating on the grass for the Northumberland shore. Inverness County, trace to 5 centimeters, but north of Mabu, the potential for 5 to 10, maybe even 15 centimeters, not out of the question in the Highlands by Sunday afternoon. That system pulls away, and then our next system will roll in on Monday. Few flakes on the leading edge of that, but that's looking less and less likely. It looks like we'll, for the most part, see showers. Tuesday looks pretty mild with some sunshine, as the showers should clear away for the afternoon, and pretty spring-like looking 7-day there.
Absolutely. All right, well, you've heard about the proverbial brass monkey. Well, here is a real-life golden one. A baby golden snub-nosed monkey, to be precise. It was born in a Belgian zoo, which was quite an event since the species is native to China and endangered.
This isn't the first birth outside of Asia, though. A zoo in France says it had welcomed its own little one just 6 days earlier.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.